Good morning. This is Mr. PJ down in, well, today I'm at Jensen Beach, and this is the handicap access area. It is a beautiful, glorious morning, and so this weekend the Lord blessed me with a tripod. Well, I knew I needed to get a tripod, and it really wasn't in the budget. And so he's saying I took a step of faith, and when I did that, all kinds of things happened. I got pulled over yesterday, and I gave the officer the deal. You know, the officer came up to the window and he said to me, he says, he didn't say anything. I was like, I know why you pulled me, officer. I know why you pulled me over. I was speeding. I'm guilty. He says, license and registration then, please. So I gave him my license and my registration. I don't know what it is about, just because of my history maybe in the past where I was always in trouble with stuff. But, you know, when a police officer pulls me over, I just start to tremble. I get shaky, and I'm like, you know, it's terrible. But I think that's what police do. That's the authority that they have. And see, that's called, and even though, now, so what anyways, what happens is so I had this going on. And there's something floating down here. Oh, it's a pelican. So anyways, he goes off and he goes, and I see him get his you know, the ticket board. Everybody knows what the ticket board is. And I'm like, oh, I'm getting a ticket. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. And so he came up to the window, and of course, you know, there was a 10-minute process of him being back there, and I was really just asking the Lord for mercy because I was guilty. And the problem with humans is we want to justify why we're not guilty, and quite honestly, I was guilty. When we as humans, and Christian adults especially, can admit that we're guilty of things, then we are better to understand how someone who does not know Jesus feels guilty about everything, though they may say they don't. The past week has been an extremely interesting week in Christian philosophy. And I say Christian philosophy because some people who call themselves are Christians belong to the philosophical side of Christianity, understanding what Jesus is and who he was and all these kind of different things, but they don't know who he is in their own life. They're not like his friend. Like, I can say, Jesus, what's up, dude? What's with the rain today, man? And if you can't talk to Jesus that way, then you probably don't know who he is. Or your understanding of him is different than mine. Because Jesus is my brother. And I have a lot of Christian brothers out there. And sisters. Now, besides all of that, we're going to get back to the officer. So the officer comes up to the window and says, today is a no tolerance day, and it's going to be, we have to give everybody a citation regardless of whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm getting a ticket. He says, now, do you have any idea how fast you were going? No, he didn't ask me that. He said, today's ticket would be $281. Emphasis on, he said, would be $281. So I'm thinking I'm going to get even more taxed on. I see 2 yellow pieces of paper. I start shaking some more. This is definitely not in the budget. So, as I deal with this, I'm like, oh my gosh, Lord, what are you going to do? I'm speaking to my spirit. I know what I'm going to do. And so, the officer says, here's what I'm going to do for you. Since you have a CDL and it's in good standing, and by the way, I do have a CDL, I can drive a church bus, but I cannot drive a school bus, nor do I ever intend to get a school bus license because, quite honestly, parents don't know how to discipline their children enough for me to drive them around in a bus. And so, back to the original thing. When we see God, we should have that same kind of fear that that police officer had on me. That's called fear of the Lord. That's called standing in front of somebody who has authority to tell you what you can and cannot do. Now, for us humans, it is our local police and our government and our things of that nature. But for Christians, it's the one who's painting this picture for you right now that you're watching. It's the one who's saying, today, I don't often do this, but today I'm going to take my fingers and I'm going to slide across the canvas. And there's a great big smear mark all the way down, like God just took his finger and just went, meow. He brought his birds right here today. And he brought his sunrise right there today. And he has his sea oats right there. I'm going to take a picture of this right now while I'm thinking about it. So we got to capture the picture just in case something should happen to go wrong with the video. Which, believe it or not, it does. So back to the fear of God. So the fear of the Lord, that's what it's supposed to be like. When God comes up to you and says, Mr. PJ, I want you to do something. The first reaction should be, oh my God, God wants me to do something. But you have to understand God's nature. God never asks you to, hey, Mr. PJ, I want you to do something crazy and out there, something different that no one's ever seen before. But it has to line up with my words that I've written down in the Bible. So what happens now is people look at me and say, Mr. PJ, I don't understand this whole pirate thing that you're doing. I don't understand what it's all about. Can you show me in the Bible where this pirate thing is all about? And what I'll do is I'll take you to his word in so many things, and I'll say, well, let's start first with Pastor Bob's character class. Okay, let's go through the first DVD, which I happen to have right here in my office, called Integrity. After we understand these 6 basic rules for Christian character, then we'll discuss these other things about the pirate party. But until you're in like fellowship with me, you're not going to understand what I'm about to tell you. I think we're going to get rained on. This is just a crazy, crazy day. And this is sunrise. This is sunrise. Okay, my battery is dying. It's 8 minutes and 21 seconds. And so I'm going to turn off the movie mode now.